The Justice League series was one of the best superhero shows ever made. In fact, I would say it is debatably the very best to date. And what made it work was that it not only had great action and stories, but it had well-rounded characters who genuinely had depth. And whether it's Martian Manhunter having an existential crisis about living his long life alone, or just him going home with Superman for a wholesome Christmas, it's all believable, and you find yourself genuinely caring about the fates of these characters. I mean, basically it was just well written, and instead of two-dimensional wind-up superheroes like you get on a lot of shows, we instead got a show with amazing action and emotionally complex characters. Which is a rare treat, I mean, it really is. And we are going to take a look at the most emotional and tragic moments for each of the Justice League members. The main original 7, of course, not the entire roster they show in Unlimited, because, well, we'd be here forever. Green Lantern. Now, as weird as this sounds, he actually blew up a planet once, which is terrible, of course, but kind of awesome at the same time. I mean, who has the power to destroy a planet, let alone by accident? But needless to say, this is eating him alive. I mean, destroying a planet that had 3 billion people on it? Well, that would screw anyone up. And although he doesn't scream, cry, or lash outwards in some dramatic way, you can still see that it's tearing him apart. It's just that he's the stoic, strong, silent type, so he doesn't outwardly show much emotion. Instead, he instantly and silently accepts his fate. He knows what will happen next, and he knows that he deserves it. So he spends what little time he has left visiting his old neighbourhood and getting in touch with his roots, before the Manhunters turn up and take him in for trial. Now, he doesn't resist or put up a struggle of any kind. He doesn't even want a trial or to explain his actions or defend himself in any way. He just wants to get it all over with because, well, he wholeheartedly believes that he deserves his punishment. I mean, it's eating him alive and he just wants it to end. So he goes in for his execution. And that's how he shows his pain, by wanting to die so it will all end. And it really does have to be said that it is amazing that they managed to get this type of plot in a kids show. And while some might say that it's actually quite brave and noble of him to accept his fate, I would say that it's incredibly, insanely stupid. As the Justice League investigate this, as they were obviously going to do regardless of what Green Lantern wanted, and it's good that they did because they discovered that he didn't destroy the planet at all. It was all a ruse.
Ajuris 4 was never destroyed. It's right where it always was. It was all an illusion.
The Manhunters set him up to get him killed. They used hologram tech to make it look like the planet was gone, which somehow made it completely invisible to all sensors as well. I mean, how no one could figure this out is just beyond me. I mean, they actually say in the show that the planet's moon was still in orbit. I mean, who the hell was sitting there thinking, well, the moon's in orbit, naturally. I mean, the planet's missing, the thing that kept it there, but it's still there? I mean, you think someone would have noticed that. It's a moon, for Christ's sake. But somehow the Manhunter's plan worked until the Justice League figured it out and saved Green Lantern. From death, which is a classic example of why you should never give up. And lastly, I want to quickly say I didn't just pick this moment because he hated himself so much, but it was because of how his fellow Lanterns discarded him so easily. In fact, it's only the Justice League that actually stuck by him through this. The others just wrote him off immediately.
You're a disgrace to the Corps.
Get me out of here.
But like they say, it's when things get bad that you know who your real friends are. The Flash. Now, Flash actually has it pretty chill for the most part in the show. He is the comedic relief after all. And while he does have a few moments here or there that get a little dramatic and tragic, it's nothing like the devastating emotions the other League members face. But that being said, he does of course still have his dark moments. There are 2 worth mentioning. Now the first one's kind of his own making when he decides to do a commercial for the money, but then he doesn't like the direction it goes in. He's like, this is a terrible script, so he has a bit of a hissy fit and he storms off set at super speed. And so, in order to offset their losses, they sell the footage of him having his little tissy fit and being rude, which is then used by the media to make him look bad. Something which Flash does not like. And so he naturally does the very worst thing that he could do in this situation, which is to storm onto the set and have another temper tantrum. I mean, the reason that's the dumbest thing he could do is because this whole show, this whole segment, it's all about how superheroes act entitled and like to throw their weight around. And so, what is he doing by running on the show and acting entitled and throwing his weight around? Well, he's proving them right, isn't he? And he's giving them all the fuel they need to run him over. of course the Flash is a hero and this is a TV show, so he later on saves the day and the news cycle moves on. And although I did say this was of the Flash's own making, well, that's not strictly speaking true. It is of his own making, yes, but it's not just that. I mean, he's acting very out of character in this episode, clearly for the plot. I mean, sure, he's the comic relief, but, well, he's not a dick. So I don't think he'd actually do what he did in the show. It's not the biggest stretch, to be fair. I mean, we all have bad days, so it's completely possible. But it is still a stretch. And that's probably the worst thing that happens to him. There is actually another emotional moment, and that's in the Xmas episode. Or should I say Christmas, sorry. I wrote in my notes Xmas, but I probably should have said Christmas. And this has some very wholesome moments in it. It's actually a very nice episode. And in the Flash's case, he sets out to find a present for a group of orphans. He has to get the specific one they want. And he ends up actually teaming up with a villain in order to get it for them. And the Ultra Humanite even has Flash dead to rights, but in the spirit of Christmas, he decides to help him and the kids out. They are the future after all. And in fairness, that's actually not that out of character for him, because out of all of the Justice League members, I actually believe him teaming up with the bad guy the most, because in this show, that's kind of the guy he is. He believes the best out of people. It's actually one of the reasons why he's so likeable. Batman. Now, while there are many great emotional Batman moments in this show, and others for that matter, this one's actually still a pretty easy one to pick out, because it's going to be his episode with Ace. I mean, it's not only a classic, but it's a fan favourite. Now, the encounter itself's actually quite short, but it's still a very beautiful moment. To put it in context, the playing cards are attacking and causing damage, and as for Ace, the most powerful one in the group, her powers have actually grown since her last dance with the Justice League. Before, she could only alter people's minds and create illusions, but now, she can change reality itself, permanently. And so, in order to stop her, Amanda Waller gives Batman a device to kill Ace with. And naturally, he agrees, and he goes to confront her, with Ace allowing him, and only him, through. And this is of course because Batman never actually intended to kill the girl, he just wanted to take the weapon out of Waller's hands. And Ace read his mind and knew all of this. And so instead, he sat calmly with Ace, and they had a heart-to-heart about her life of being trained as a psychic weapon by the government. Very much like the beginning of the story in Stranger Things, actually. And he offered her some company and comfort in her final moments, as she genuinely was dying soon, and she knew it. And because he treated her with empathy in her final moment, she decided to restore all of the changes that she had made to reality. And it was only because Batman believed in her any of that was possible. It's one of those rare moments that is truly touching, because it not only shows a person's superpowers, sure, but it shows us how they were gained. It shows us the person underneath and the trauma that people had to inflict on this child in order to get those superpowers. And that is very true of real life. There are a lot of people who will do truly horrible things to those they consider beneath them. And while there are many other reasons why this is an amazing scene, I think that's really at the crux of it myself. Hawkgirl. Now, from the very beginning of the show, Hawkgirl has always been a hero. They never really go into detail on her origin or why she's on planet Earth. I mean, she's an alien. They kind of mention it here and there, but it's never really, made the centre stage of the story. I mean, all of her story is just glossed over for the most part. And that is because she is a deep cover agent for an alien empire who is sent here so that she could scout out the planet ahead of them. She's there to find out all the intel her planet needs in order to come there with their big ships and their advanced weapons and then build a giant weapon on Earth that they can then use to kill their enemies they're at war with. Yeah, it's a bit out there as stories go, but bear with me here because it is actually quite a good one. Now, no one knew or even had any idea that she was some sort of deep sleeper agent for a bunch of aliens, especially Green Lantern, whom was dating her at this time. And when she revealed her true colours, she also revealed her alien fiancé, and she discarded the lantern without so much as a word. It was brutal, and next to destroying the planet, probably Green Lantern's most emotional moment in the series.
You mean she's a spy? Cool.
She was spying on us.
Oh, yeah. Huh.
But getting back to Hawkgirl. Now, revealing who she is isn't really that dramatic, obviously. No, the drama really starts when she learns that the giant laser weapon is going to destroy the planet Earth when it is fired. And learning this changes things. You see, she thought they would fire the weapon, they'd all just go home, and no one would be hurt. Except for their enemies who they're trying to commit genocide on, but we'll ignore that for the moment. But basically what it comes down to is she doesn't want the Earth and the people on it to die. And so she betrays her people and gives the League all the info they need in order to take the weapon out. Now obviously the Justice League are able to save the day and it's all good, except for the fact that Hawkgirl has just betrayed her people and been labelled as a traitor by the people of Earth as well. Literally everyone thinks she's a traitor, even the Justice League. So, well, it's rough on her. I mean, some of the Justice League members would have actually been fine with her coming back straight away. Others of them, well, they really don't want her to come back ever. And basically this all leads to her leaving the hero life behind and hiding in the Tower of Fate for months, essentially just drowning in depression. Now eventually she does return to the hero world. She's needed to take out a magically enhanced Solomon Grundy. But even after defeating the monster, the people do not accept her back. In fact, they basically view her as a monster. And even though she does go on to rejoin the League and try to earn her place back, well, the whole thing has just torn her about. And this event is undoubtedly the most tragically emotional turmoil that she faces in the show. And that is the end of part 1. I'll be releasing the second part of this video next week, where I'll be going over Wonder Woman, Superman and Martian Manhunter's most tragically emotional moments. I'd like to put them all together, but quite frankly the video's just too long to do that. But until the next part is out, let us know in the comments what you think of this list, and if there are any other tragic moments that you think should have been included instead. And I'd just like to quickly remind everyone that we have some merchandise available on our store, and to say thanks to all of you who have donated to the Needle Mouse Productions page on Patreon. And as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.